Ethel Caterham, a 115-year-old British woman, has become the oldest person in the world after the death of Ina Canavaro Lucas, a Brazilian nun who passed away at 116.
The GRG and LongeviQuest databases announced the update, with Caterham now holding the title. She was born in Hampshire in 1909 and lives in Surrey, the same region.
Caterham, who lost her husband and 2 daughters, has 3 grandsons and 5 great-grandsons. She received a letter from King Charles III in 2023 for her 115th birthday.
She attributes her longevity to listening to others and doing what she enjoys. She also survived a COVID-19 episode at age 110, as reported by The Telegraph.
Caterham traveled to India at 18 as an au pair, then met her future husband, Norman, in 1933. They later moved to southern England after his military postings.
Her husband died in 1976, and she continues to emphasize the importance of positivity and moderation in life.
So, the big story today is about a potential military parade in Washington, D.C., planned for June 14 to mark the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It's also coinciding with Donald Trump's 79th birthday. The event would involve over 6,600 soldiers, 150 vehicles, 50 helicopters, 7 bands, and thousands of civilians.
Right, and the plans were revealed through documents obtained by the Associated Press. The military is considering turning it into a major national event, but the costs are a huge concern. They're talking about tens of millions of dollars to move equipment, troops, and logistics to Washington.
Exactly. The military hasn't finalized the plan yet, but they're excited about the idea. They want to showcase the Army's history and involve civilians, including historic vehicles and veterans groups. But Trump's past attempt to host a parade in his first term failed due to cost overruns and logistical issues.
True. Back in 2017, Trump wanted a massive parade after seeing one in France, but it was scrapped because of the $92 million price tag and objections from local authorities about heavy equipment damaging roads. Now, the current plan is still in the works, with the military emphasizing it's a special national security event.
And there's more. Trump has also proposed renaming holidays related to war victories, like changing the Day of Victory in Europe to Day of Victory in World War II. This adds another layer to the political context of the parade.
The military is still in talks, and the final decision hasn't been made. The key takeaway is that while the event could be a spectacle, the financial and logistical hurdles remain significant. It's a mix of celebration and controversy, as always with Trump's initiatives.
So, the story we're diving into today is one of the most fascinating and confusing moments in modern history. In April 1945, as Nazi Germany collapsed, the world was bombarded with conflicting reports about the fate of Adolf Hitler. The initial announcement came from Hamburg Radio, claiming he'd died in combat. But then came contradictory accounts, rumors of escape, and even claims he'd survived in Argentina or Spain. It's a tale of misinformation, political maneuvering, and forensic detective work.
Right, and the Soviets played a key role in unraveling the mystery. After capturing Berlin, they interrogated survivors of the bunker and eventually found Hitler's body. But the process wasn't straightforward. His remains were damaged, partially burned, and required dental analysis to confirm. The Soviets even kept his jaw in their archives for decades, fearing it might become a Nazi shrine.
Exactly. And the confusion wasn't just about his death. It was also about who controlled the narrative. Stalin's team wanted to link the West to Nazism, so they spread rumors of Hitler's survival to discredit his allies. Meanwhile, Western intelligence, like Hugh Trevor Roper, worked to verify his death. But even then, questions lingered like whether he died by gunshot, poison, or both.
And the legacy of this chaos? Well, it set the stage for the Cold War. The Soviets' control over Hitler's remains became a symbol of their power, while the West grappled with the truth. Today, his jaw is still in Russia, and his ashes were scattered in Germany to prevent a cult. It's a reminder of how history is shaped by both facts and propaganda.
So, while the world finally got a definitive answer in the 1970s, the story of Hitler's death remains a cautionary tale about misinformation and the lengths to which nations will go to control the narrative. Fascinating, right?
Absolutely. It's a perfect example of how history isn't just about what happened but how it's remembered, rewritten, and even hidden. Thanks for tuning in.
Trump's second term has seen a surge in his efforts to expand presidential power, but he's faced significant pushback from three key areas: the judiciary, Harvard University, and the financial markets. The president has used executive orders to reshape immigration policies, alter trade agreements, and push for changes in election rules. Yet, his attempts have been met with resistance from institutions that traditionally act as checks on executive authority.
The judiciary has been a major obstacle. Despite Trump's control over the Republican Party and the Senate, federal courts have repeatedly blocked his policies. For example, the Supreme Court intervened in cases involving the citizenship of children born in the U.S. and the deportation of an immigrant accused of ties to MS-13. These rulings show the judiciary's role in curbing his authority, though the conservative-leaning Supreme Court may still tip the balance in his favor.
Harvard has also resisted Trump's pressure. The university refused to comply with demands to change its curriculum or admissions policies, risking federal funding. Harvard's president warned against government interference in academic freedom, and the administration froze billions in federal funds as a result. This standoff highlights tensions between private institutions and the executive branch over academic autonomy.
Meanwhile, the financial markets have forced Trump to backtrack on his economic policies. His trade wars and threats to dismiss Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell led to sharp drops in stock markets and bond prices. Trump's recent pivot toward easing tariffs and his acknowledgement of market concerns underscore the economic stakes in his power struggles. Analysts note his history of adapting to market pressures, suggesting a potential shift in strategy.
Experts like Erica France argue that while Trump's ambition remains unchanged, his ability to consolidate power has increased. However, the judiciary, universities, and markets continue to act as critical checks. The outcome of these battles will shape the future of American democracy, balancing executive authority with institutional safeguards.
Trump's attempts to expand power are part of a broader pattern of resistance from key institutions. The judiciary's role in curbing his policies, Harvard's defiance of government overreach, and the market's influence on his economic decisions all point to a complex interplay of power. As these conflicts unfold, the implications for governance and democratic norms will remain a central focus of public discourse.
Ukraine has proposed a 30 to 90-day ceasefire to Russia, signaling a shift toward peace talks. The move comes after Russia announced a 3-day truce for May 8 to 10, tied to Victory Day commemorations.
Russia's ceasefire is framed as humanitarian, but Ukraine insists on a longer, binding pause. The U.S. is set to finalize a mineral resource agreement with Kyiv, a key economic move amid the conflict.
Trump's recent comments add pressure on Russia to halt attacks, but his stance on territorial concessions complicates peace efforts. Both sides remain divided on occupied territories, with Kyiv demanding full sovereignty.
The U.S. is mediating, but Russia's refusal to reverse annexations creates a major sticking point. Ukraine's proposal reflects desperation for a sustainable truce, while Russia's timing hints at strategic messaging.
The ceasefire's success hinges on mutual trust, but history shows both sides have broken previous pauses. International observers will monitor compliance, though enforcement remains unclear.
Economic deals like the U.S. Mineral Pact may ease pressure on Kyiv, but they don't address the core issue, Russia's territorial ambitions. The world watches as diplomacy and warfare collide in a stalemate.